1983 was a wild year. IBM released the first PC, the Space Shuttle Challenger was launched on its maiden voyage, Microsoft Word was invented, and even the first Mario Brothers game was released. How neat is that?
That's pretty neat.
Best part about 1983, I was minus 10 years old.
I don't care.
But amongst all these awesome inventions and history-making space stuff, there was another groundbreaking, earth-shattering contract that changed the SUV game forever. I'm Dustin with Custom Offsets, and today we're strapping on the armor plating, spraying on the operational camo, and finding out just what's the hype with the Hummer. Before we jump into that though, I would like to tell you about my Lord and Savior, CustomOffsets.com. Okay, that was maybe a little aggressive. But actually, we have wheels, tires, and suspension for your Hummer or for your truck, because you know it's kind of what we do. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and click that little bell so you get notifications every single time we upload. Spoiler alert, we upload every single day. On March 22nd, 1983, the Pentagon awarded a contract worth over $1 billion to the AM General Corporation to develop 55,000 high mobility multi-purpose wheeled vehicles. These HMW WVs, or Humvees for short, were designed to transport troops and cargo around and were broadly used during the 1989 invasion of Panama and the Persian Gulf War in the early 1990s. Like all good things, these vehicles were only available to the military to begin with, but in 1992, this all changed. 92 was a great year, by the way. I was still minus 1 year old at this point.
Still don't care.
Either way, the original Humvee drew quite a bit of attention. This monstrosity vehicle weighed in at an astounding 10,000 pounds and got a very practical fuel economy of under 10 miles per gallon. The original Hummer was a boxy, clunky, and not super practical vehicle that honestly looked like it belonged on a battlefield. However, despite the massive size and terrible fuel efficiency, the Hummer was an instant hit in Hollywood. Celebrities flocked to the Hummer, with some of them even owning entire fleets of the vehicle, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. In 1999, General Motors purchased the rights to the Hummer from AM General and began to market and distribute the Hummer through the GM dealership channels. Jumping up to 2002, GM decided it was time for a revamp on the ever successful Hummer lineup. Thus, the H2 was born. Let's go. Debuted in 2002, the Hummer H2 was a smaller, less expensive brother to the original Hummer. It weighed in at a thinned down 8,600 pounds and featured a 6.0 liter LQ4 V8 that put out an astounding 316 horsepower. This engine would later be replaced by the 6.2 liter V8. The H2 also featured more creature comforts than the original Hummer, such as tri-zone climate controls, leather-wrapped steering wheel, power seats, and even a Bose premium radio system for when you want to blare Metallica on your way to pick the kids up from soccer practice. Yikes. For the first time, GM also offered an SUT, or sport utility truck. This meant that the H2 had an option for a fully enclosed cabin or for the rear cabin to be removed and in its place a slightly functional cargo bed. Yes, I said slightly functional is pretty small. This Hummer was slightly smaller, a little thinner, and still only got 10 miles per gallon. Rough. Fun fact about the H2, although it was designed and sold by General Motors, it was actually manufactured by AM General via a contract with General Motors. Yes, that's right, it means that the original designer of the Hummer was once again manufacturing Hummer vehicles. This time, it was a watered down diet version of the original Hummer. Talk about full circle. In 2003, GM released the next rendition of the ever popular SUV, the Hummer H3. This Hummer was even more slim and weighed in at 5,800 pounds, which is quite a bit less than the original. Along with the sizable slim down, it also became significantly more fuel efficient. Finally. Posted fuel economy for little brother H3 was somewhere between 16 and 20 miles per gallon, depending on which source you ask. This couldn't have come at a better time, as America was marching towards a growing economic slowdown and rising fuel prices at the time. Because of this, in 2006, GM decided to axe the original Hummer, as sales of the original behemoth had fallen to all-time lows. Over the next 2 years, Hummer would go on to face massive sales downturns, with some reports claiming sales fell over 50% year over year. This ultimately led to an unfortunate circumstance. On June 1st, 2009, GM declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
The following day, General Motors announced that as part of its reorganization plans, it would be selling the Hummer brand to a Chinese machinery company. Sounds like a not so bad plan, right? Sell the whole brand to a Chinese company, they can pick up the pieces, kind of keep it moving. Yeah, I mean, it was, until February of 2010. Less than a year later, Time magazine reported that General Motors' efforts to sell the Hummer brand were unsuccessful. This meant the end of the Hummer brand as we knew it. Once one of the biggest status symbols in American history had now fallen to the wayside and was gone forever. I'm not crying. You're crying. It's okay if you're sad. I'm a little sad too. Psych! This story does not end there. For many years, the Hummer name was simply a bygone. That all changed in 2020, however. A quick Google search will tell you exactly what I'm talking about here. Seriously, GM is literally putting this page everywhere. If you don't know what I'm talking about, buckle up because this Cinderella story is about to get rowdy. Coming out of seemingly nowhere, GMC drops an absolute bombshell on the SUV market in 2020 by teasing a return of, you guessed it, the Hummer. This new Hummer is quite different than the previous models though. This time, the Hummer returns under the GMC umbrella and is branded the first ever GMC Hummer EV. EV of course stands for electric vehicle, BT dubs. Their website teases at the new model by showing sleek and futuristic vehicle designs with a few different cabin designs and is branded fully charged, fully electric, and ready to change the game forever. Bold statement, Scott. But it's with good reason. GMC also brands this new teaser as the Quiet Revolution and goes on so far as to say as this will be the first all-electric super truck. I mean, who even knew super trucks were a thing? I guess. We don't know much about them other than the fact that GM is advertising up to 1,000 horsepower, 11,500 pound-feet of torque, and a 0 to 60 time of 3 seconds, which is on par or better than most factory performance cars of today. Holy shit. Well, there's not much information available yet. There's a really nice teaser video that features LeBron James, which is a fantastic watch, by the way. Still, we can't help but wonder just how awesome is the new GMC Hummer going to be. What do you guys think of the Hummer lineup? Are you excited for the new Hummer EV? Sound off in the comments section below. Also, if you're slacking and you still haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. And with that, I'm Dustin with Custom Offsets, and we'll see you next time. Peace.